Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Walton Hills Committee of the Whole meeting of Tuesday, January 5th, 2021 at 7:01 p.m. Okay. This meeting is being live streamed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We are following House Bill 404 that allows public bodies to meet electronically through July 2021. Okay, Angela is coming back. She's on vacation. Her flight's coming in late. We are going to contact her if we have any questions for that one piece of legislation. We can contact her. I know a question already came up just talking a little bit. So I will do roll call. Mary Brenner Miller.
Here.
Ryan Spitzenagel.
Here.
Denny Linville.
Present.
Jennifer Allen.
Here.
Gloria Tulowski.
Here.
Ray Whedon.
Here.
All of council present, along with our law director, John Montello, and myself. Okay. Any comments related to any agenda items? I just want to welcome any residents watching us on YouTube. I'd like to welcome everybody to a new year, 2021. And we look forward to good things happening in our village and continue to move us forward. Any questions from anybody or anything? Sarah? Okay. And as everybody knows, residents can, if they type something in during the meeting, Sarah will let us know, and then we can either answer at that time or answer when it's appropriate. Okay, we want to go through approval of the COW meeting minutes?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to ask for approval of COW meeting minutes of December 1st, 2020.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I do have one correction that needs done on those meeting minutes.
Okay.
Second paragraph, item 4, the last line, it says, council members, Mayor Koligraf and Rob Coleman ask questions and speak to each applicant individually. Rob was not there, as is noted later on in the minutes. That was the night he was plowing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, we'll change that. Let me make sure I got that. That was item 4, right?
Mm-hmm. It's the very last line,
So we got to get rid of Rob.
sentence. I hope he's
Mayor?
not watching.
Mayor?
Yes.
I don't know, it's a minor thing, and it technically, both myself and Mr. Whedon were here virtually over the phone or computer. I don't know if it matters, but under the first paragraph, second or third line down towards the end, it says present, councilpersons Denny Linville, Mary Brenner Miller, Councilman Spitznagel, and Jennifer Allen. And then later on, it says Councilman Whedon joins the meeting virtually. I don't know if that matters or not, but I was virtual at the meeting, but it still does count as being at the meeting. So I don't know if you want to say that I was there virtually also, just to make the record
Yeah, we can
abundantly
do that.
clear.
We can do that. I know how it got there because they weren't there, and then I mentioned it later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there was,
You know, that
Ray was
joined
trying to
us
get
and-
here, and there was an issue with his automobile.
Right, so it may, Mayor Koligraf, it may work better if that line that says Councilman Whedon joined the meeting virtually, you know, at or after the yeas were taken, something like that. Because it says 4 yeas. The 4 yeas was before I was online. And I came on after that.
Okay.
You just move that
Yeah.
piece down.
Okay.
And it shows that you guys you called the roll, you had 4 yeas to move forward, and then Councilman Whedon
Because we had
joined virtually.
Excused you at that point.
Right, because it says I was excused when I
Right.
came in. So the easiest way is just move that piece down.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I was not here for the December 1st one, and there's 3 of them here, 1, 8, and 15. Just present, just
Yeah, yeah, that's, yeah, because then that will go, that, yes, it will go with the favor, you know, with the majority, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Is there a second then? After we make those changes?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a second with the changes
Okay.
to approve the minutes.
We'll vote on the motion. Mary Brenner Miller,
Yes.
Brian Spitznagel,
Yes.
Denny Linville,
Yes.
Jennifer Allen,
Yes.
Gloria Terlowski,
Present.
and Ray Whedon.
Yes.
Okay. 5 yeses and 1 present.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to ask for a motion to adopt COW meeting minutes of December 8th, 2020.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Denny Linville. Okay. Vote on the motion. Mary Brenner Miller,
Yes.
Brian Spitznagel,
Yes.
Denny Linville,
Yes.
Jennifer Allen,
Yes.
Gloria Terlowski,
Yes.
and Ray Whedon.
Yes.
Okay. 6 yeses. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to ask for adoption of COW meeting minutes of December 15th, 2020.
Is there a second?
Who's Danny?
Was it? Oh, Denny got it? Okay. Denny Linville. Okay. Any questions on that? Otherwise, we're going to vote on the motion. Mary Brenner Miller,
Yes.
Brian Spitznagel,
Yes.
Denny Linville,
Yes.
Jennifer Allen,
Yes.
Gloria Terlowski,
Yes.
and Ray Whedon.
Yes.
Okay, 6 yeses. Thank you, everybody. Okay, item 5, I'm just going to kind of give everybody a little background on it. As you know, in our ordinance every year, we have to vote for council president in the first meeting of the year. Council elects the council president, and then that term goes for another year and stuff, so it's up to council. I know, I want to thank Mary. Mary's, I think 2 years, Mary, you've had it. She's done a great job. I've been able to work well with her, and along with everybody else on council too. And I feel we'll have that same thing moving forward, whatever council decides. And I know we've always worked it out, and I think that's going to happen here tonight again too. So I want to thank Mary for that, and you know, you guys can talk about it, or unless you've already kind of talked about it a little bit here and there. I know there's been discussion and stuff, so if not, we can get a motion from everybody and go from there.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I wanted to thank you, and it's been a pleasure and an honor to be council president and to work with Mayor and work through challenges besides the good things that come along, and it's been an honor. And so with saying that, I know someone has approached me and who's quite qualified and been here for a while, and so I would like to nominate Jennifer Allen to be the next council president.
Mayor Colgraf?
Yes, go ahead, Ray.
And members of council, if I'm in order, I would like to second that motion for Jennifer Allen to be president pro tempore of the Walton Hills Village Council.
Thank you.
Okay. I think that will be a fine choice. I want to thank Mary again, and as a past council president, you know, it's an important role just to kind of get everybody to work together and kind of, you know, understand everybody's views. And Jennifer, I think you'll do a good job in that role. Are we ready to take a vote? Okay. You
I'd like to make a motion
make the motion.
to have Jennifer Allen as the 2001 council president for the village of Walton Hills.
I second that motion.
Seconded by Ray Whedon. Vote on the motion.
Yes.
Mary Brenner Miller,
Yes.
Brian Spitznagle.
Yes.
Denny Linville,
Yes.
Jennifer Allen. You can vote on your own, that's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You can
Yes.
vote yes.
Okay, yes.
Gloria Tulowski,
Yes.
Ray Whedon.
Yes.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you, guys, thank you. Thank you all very much.
Congratulations,
I appreciate your faith in me. And
Well, I
will do
came
my
in
best.
right when you became mayor, and it was kind of a very tumultuous time, and so things have calmed down considerably. So,
I think it will continue to move the village forward, so
Sure.
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Mayor,
Yes,
I'd just like to comment, I think Mary Brenner really did a nice job. I mean, she kept us on top of everything, and she always made sure we were informed. And I
well, we'll
thought-
give her a round of applause for that. How's that?
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Anybody else have any comments or? Okay. Any comments from the residents on that, Sarah?
Nothing so far.
Okay. Is there residents on there or?
We have 8 watching currently.
Okay, good. That's good. Okay, item 6 is discussion on council committees. I know I gave you the 2020, just to kind of give you an idea where everybody's at there. Those are the 2020 council committees. So I don't know how everybody feels. I know we'll have a little bit of a change there with Mary and Jennifer. Jennifer automatically becomes chair of finance. So that's going to take place as council president. Whatever council wants to do, as far as if anybody wants to move, Mary,
Well,
whatever you
yes.
guys want to, however you want to work it out.
Do we need to make a motion for the chairs of the committees, Mr. Mayor?
No, we haven't in the past. We've just worked it out, you know.
Because I just didn't know if Mary wanted to take over the chair for economic development then.
so we would swap.
That's up to you, that's up to
Yeah.
council.
Although I'd
Whatever,
like to stay on the committee, but
right,
for her to
Yeah.
be the chair.
whatever everybody wants to do.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
I'm okay with remaining the chair of the Information Committee. I am on also the Recreation Community Life with Gloria and Mary. I don't know if they still want to stay on there, but that's fine with me. And also the Infrastructure with Mr. Linville as chair and Mr. Whedon. That's fine with me. I would be glad to stay, if nobody wants it, the chair of the Information Committee. And the committee, as the committee members know, that we did get some things changed, hopefully for the better, as far as the communication to the residents in the past, and our cooperation with the OWL, and that was not only our efforts, but the efforts of everybody here, including the mayor, to get that going. And if I'm the chair or continue to be the chair of the Information Committee, I'd like to work on some things this year as far as trying to keep improving and there's 8 residents watching, so if any of those 8 have anything for us, any ideas, please email, and I'd be glad to listen to any and all suggestions and comments to see what people want. This year's been, as far as, we did as best as we could, but looking forward, I would be happy to stay chair on that committee.
Mayor Colgraf?
yes, go ahead.
Similarly, all of the committee assignments that I have for 2020, I would like to maintain all of my committee assignments, including the chair of the Safety and Insurance Committee. I had a great first year of learning some of the ins and outs of about safety and insurance, and would like to continue to do so. It's been a pleasure serving with Chairman Linville on the Infrastructure Committee, as well as serving with the new Council President Pro Tem, Jennifer Allen, on the Economic Development Committee. In addition, as well as the Finance Committee on everybody. In addition, I like to say that, you know, as the least amount of changes that we can make in 2021 is probably a good thing, considering 2022, with the passage of issue 50, restructuring will be necessary in a more detailed way, with having 5 council members versus 6. So, Madam President, you know, perhaps we can take a look at that, what some of those scenarios might look like before we get to January
Absolutely.
of 2022.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, go ahead, Gloria.
I would like to stay on the committee's Recreation and Community Life as the chair, and then be on the Information Committee with Brian and whoever else would like to be on that.
Okay. Denny, how about you?
If someone else would like it, I would like to stay on the committee I'm on.
So you're good with staying as infrastructure chair too and stuff?
If it's, you know, approved by council, obviously, yeah, I would appreciate that.
I think pretty much that's whatever, so pretty much, so the only thing we gotta work out is Jennifer and Gloria, Jennifer and Mary then,
We
which,
just switched.
okay, so we're good with that. So what does that mean? That means,
Is there a way that I could stay on economic development?
well, you're, as council president,
You're on every committee.
you're on
Okay.
everything, Jennifer, just like anyone else. So
Okay.
it's, yeah, that's, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
That's not a problem.
Councilman Linville, did you want to stay on economic development? Because you did not mention that one.
I'm sorry?
You're on economic development. Do you want to stay there?
If I may, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
You're still the chair, right?
No, Mary will be the chair now.
Who?
Mary will be the
I'm
chair.
gonna, we
Oh, you're gonna be the
switched,
chair,
yeah, I'll be
okay.
the chair and Jennifer will be council president.
Oh, okay.
Jennifer's gonna be responsible for the whole budget, okay?
Uh-oh.
Send your emails.
No, it's gonna be a good thing. We're gonna have a good year. Okay, so let's just kind of go through it so that I have what we need to get, because we'll put it in the journal, you know, our next journal going out, just like we did here with the council committees, which was good. So let's see, economic development, you got Mary Brenner chair, Ray Whedon and Denny Linville, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Information, Brian Spitznagel still chair, Gloria Tulowski, and then Jennifer? Okay. And then infrastructure, Denny as chair,
Yeah.
Raymond Whedon and Brian Spitznagel?
Yeah.
Okay. Recreation and community life. The infrastructure one, the tough one there this year is, you know, we got the Dunham Road, and that's just it's gonna be a great thing when it's complete, but for the residents and all of us, it just makes it tough when you're doing a big construction project. So that stays the same. Recreation, community life, Gloria Tulowski is the chair, Brian Spitznagel, Mary Brenner Miller as members. Safety insurance, Raymond Whedon is the chair, Jennifer Allen and Mary Brenner as members. And in finance, Jennifer's the chair, and then all of council are members. Okay?
Hey, Mayor?
Yes,
Yeah, the plan for Dunham Road up there,
yes.
is there a written plan that maybe I could get a copy of it?
Yeah, there, you probably, yes, I'll make sure
I
you,
would like a copy of it so I could
yeah,
see what stages we're at and how we're doing and what.
yeah. Joe,
I'll keep a check on it too, I promise.
no, that's fine, Well, we're paying Joe and thing, but you can do that too, so. But yeah, not a problem, Denny. I'll see if Joe's got a timeline for it. In fact, I'll give it to all of council too, you know. an
We're still in the
updated.
bumpy stage.
I'm sorry?
We're still in the bumpy stage.
Yeah, I'm sure of that.
Yeah, you know, with that said, in fact, I got an email from a resident, I'm gonna
I
answer
know
him.
there's a lot of detail up there though, like walk paths, et cetera, bike paths.
Oh, I know.
Check on that.
I go down there every day now.
Right. Once I get a little more detail, but we sent out 2 construction notices to the residents, and one of them, which we sent out, one we sent out in November, they might have sent it, I signed it in the end of November, then we sent another one out in December, pretty much the same letter. And some of the residents are just saying they're getting it, got it today. But that might not surprise me with some of what's gone on with the mail. I know I've gotten some Christmas cards from some, and so has Denny, from some family members who mailed them the beginning of the month. I don't know if you guys had experienced any of that. So there's just some questions on it. So, you know, I apologize to any residents. Our intent was to really stay from the beginning early, and we, you know, try to do that, really put a lot of things out, but we'll get it straight. There was just some questions on it about the mailboxes and stuff, because the cluster of mailboxes for some houses are gonna be by our service center. So, but, just a little update on that. So I gotta find out some, you know, just, I'll keep you posted on that.
Mayor Colgraf?
Yes,
So are all of the mailboxes at the service center for the construction zone?
from what I understand, yes. I'm gonna, that's a question I have for Joe, to you know, which exact ones, but people were told the ones that had it supposedly with a letter that I signed. But some people just said they got the letter today, so.
Yeah, I had 6 phone calls in the last 4 or 5 days.
Right. Yeah, we sent out on November 30th, and then another similar, same letter, December 21st, you know, relating to that. So it's kind of disappointing to hear that, but we did, you know, and I'm gonna confirm exactly when Lisa sent them out, but.
Mr.
We'll get
Mayor.
it straight, and Ray, I'll find out exactly. There's some concerns about the security, you know, of the mailboxes being there, but that's why I'm gonna call the one person that left me an email. I'll call them tomorrow after I talk to the chief to see what their options are. If they don't want to get their mail in that designated area, I think they can notify the post office and pick it up. I think that's an option. You know, that's really the only thing we can do. We don't want to, the reason we made that central location, because for the safety of the mail carriers and the residents. They can't get to their mailboxes during the construction. So that's the whole reason. So what we'll find out, I'll see if there's, what the other option is for the residents. I'm gonna talk to the chief and he can contact the post office. I think it might be that they would just have to pick up their mail, you know. Unless we made this a central, just me thinking out loud, unless we made this a central location and they wanted to pick it up here if they felt more secure, that might be another option. I was thinking that was just thinking in the last hour, because when I got in is when I seen the email, because one resident sent the email like at 5:46 today. So I was just thinking what options we can have, and maybe it is make this a central, you know, that would be closer for them, but if some people, maybe it's another option. So if anybody calls you, I did forward the email over to the chief, and so me and him will talk tomorrow morning and see what options are out there. And Joe, if there's any, you know, we want to make it as convenient for we can for the residents and as safe for their mail. So,
Mr. Mayor?
yes.
I know some of the residents in regards to the mailboxes were upset because walking to their mailbox and getting their mail is now going to be turned into a 20-minute drive for them going in one
Right.
direction. And I had several other residents calling and asking why we didn't go with, instead of just one direction, a light at each end.
We'll have to ask Joe that, but
Yeah.
it's a project type thing. They got
Yeah.
it. Once they start one side, they work totally on one side, then they go to the other.
It's also big, I thought about that, but and this may or may not be the case, but it's a big, long project. That's a big, long distance.
Yes.
And every once in a while, they'll do the bridge down there in Valley View, which I'm sure you know, and they have the stoplight, and you're sitting there forever, because they
Right.
have to keep
Wait
that
for so
traffic
long.
and wait.
Right, until the
So,
last car comes through.
It's probably a deal where, you know, they don't want that traffic
Right.
building up and building up.
Exactly.
I don't know.
And when they laid it out, they tried, you know, with the construction, you know, Joe and Rob, when they sat down with them, they tried to do it the quickest, the safest, and the best way. They just, there's gonna be an inconvenience. It's gonna stink until it's done. It's just how it is.
I will tell you that
Yeah.
a resident, I'm sorry, Ray, go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of stink, can you speak to how the rubbish piece works? I haven't seen the letter, but I heard dialogue in the community that the contractors are going to pull the cans, the rubbish cans, and place them for the residents. Is that?
Yeah. Garbage and recyclable collections will continue to be on the normally scheduled date. For residents along Dunham Road, we ask that you simply place your garbage and recyclable cans in the usual pickup position at the end of your driveway on a normally scheduled day. They're gonna, the garbage men will go and, you know, they'll get them.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what they were told.
Mr. Mayor?
There's no change for the resident.
No change. Here, let me.
Mr. Mayor?
Okay, then our second letter, the construction firm will then make sure that all cans are positioned so that the arm of the collection vehicle can access the cans. This will prevent residents from having to walk across the work zone to place or to retrieve cans. You may choose to write your home address on top of your garbage and recyclable cans to ensure that all cans are returned to the correct driveway at the end of each collection day. So construction's gonna help with that. And I'm sure our service guys will get involved in that too if we have to, you know. Just like our police are the ones doing, you know, it's contracted through us. They're paying the village to supply the police for the traffic during the construction hours. So we have 2 people there right now. Not now, but during the construction hours, we'll have 2 officers with some of our older cars. If we can't schedule, let's say, our officers, we will use other departments. But Stan is responsible, our department, our chief is responsible for that, and we're getting paid through the contract to maintain that. So that's a good plus, you know, so our police are the ones there during the construction hours.
I saw Stan there the first day,
Yeah, he was
standing
there
outside,
yesterday.
yeah.
But talking to him today, I mean, we've already had things going on, people going north, going against, you know, they're going up to the south lane, it caused some problems with, you know, but it will work out. People once we had a car just ignored it, just said they were in a hurry, they had to get to a doctor's appointment or whatever. So, but our police caught them, so.
I would be so afraid if I saw a car like that.
Mr. Mayor, do we know which direction the traffic, because there's been some confusion, I think, on Tinkers Creek. Is westbound going to be available, or is it only going to be eastbound?
Only eastbound. So when you can come, when people come home, when they come down Tinkers Creek, they can make the right to go south, but they can't, you know, so you can go eastbound, but they can't come off of Dunham and go westbound.
Okay.
But we'll get some of those. We were expecting some of it. I'm a little disappointed to hear some of the people got these letters so, well, at least the second one so late. But what are we gonna, you know, we'll make it right, you know, we'll get some communication out there. And we're gonna do the best we can to accommodate the residents, and that's what we're known for in this community, between our police, our service department. We will do that, our fire department. As you know, and I gave you a couple letters, We will respond to all calls, but we have made arrangements with Valley View to also be first responders with us for any of the houses on Dunham Road and Ryan Estates. So the residents, you'll definitely have plenty of coverage. If you make a call, you'll probably have more police and fire personnel than expected, but that's a good thing. So we've made that arrangements with Valley View, just like we did when we were doing the bridge construction. So it's the same thing. We know we can be there in time, like we talked about it earlier, because we can kind of control who goes up and down. But for added protection, the chief has made that agreement with Valley View and Oakwood. So I just wanted to give you the memos that we received there. So.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I will say that even though it was a frustrated resident with the one direction only, they did say that they were very happy that this was happening, and they know it's an inconvenience, but they were willing to live with it.
Right.
Just a lot of the neighbors and things up there were upset because they feel, from Ryan Estates, I guess, that they mostly travel north.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and just to the residents, we're all concerned and we apologize for the inconvenience. But our goal is to get it done and have a nice
road.
beautiful Dunham Road when it's done for years to come. They do a great job. We won't have to worry about it, hopefully for another 20 years. So the end result should be positive.
Right. And we did hope that this project was going to be happening this past summer, but COVID had put the wrench into that, delaying it and putting it until now because of everything being held up at county level, correct?
Right. Which it might be, in some ways, Jennifer, I mean, thinking about it, summer, it's not as sloppy, you don't have the snow in the winter, but this is a time when people are inside too, and, when you're outside, come summer, it might be nice to have it done.
Right.
So I think it might work out well, and they're starting after our holiday here, and I'm going to be positive. I think it's going to work out well. We're going to end up with a beautiful project, and the residents are going to be happy. But they're not going to be happy for the next 6 months. I mean,
Sorry.
but we're going to do our best to accommodate them and solve any problems that arise. And I know we got a great service department, good fire department, good police department, and so we're going to try to accommodate everybody. Any questions related to that, Sarah?
No questions, just a handful of congratulations to Jennifer, and thank you for what the with Mary.
Okay,
Thank
very
you.
good. Okay. So let me, I am going to call Angela real quick, just to see, because I know we had questions on final appropriations. And if not, then we'll just move maybe to the other pieces of legislation and then come back to it. Let's see. I'll use this phone here. Hey, Angela.
Hey, I'm still waiting for my ride, but it's okay, I can talk.
Okay, because I got you on speakerphone here, so you're in Counsel.
Okay.
Can you guys hear her well?
Yes.
I can take
Okay.
my mask off while you go outside.
All right, would you, we can always call you back. If you get thing, I can always call you back. We're just starting, we're in the committee of the whole. We're just getting right now to item 7, which is
Okay,
the permanent, ordinance 2021-1, the final appropriations for 2020.
yes.
Okay? The question is, on the total permanent appropriations, there's $10,341,137.
Correct.
But that's not adding up if you add everything up. They're saying the
Okay, I
amount,
probably need to re-add it. I did add it that night, but I probably need to re-add it.
okay, so let me ask you this, so,
So you should take the total from page 1. It should be the total of page 1, because I didn't change anything on that. I was just doing the capital improvement.
the 5,131,000, right?
Well, yeah, whatever the bottom total is on page 1.
Right.
Top of page 2, you've got some separate totals up there. So each of those individual things on page 2 that's folded,
Correct?
that's it. And then that's what totals up that 10 million,
Okay,
or what should.
what should. Okay. So we do have a discrepancy there. What was the total?
Okay, by how much? Let me know.
11,129,460.
That's what you got too, John? Yes. 11,129,460. Is that the correct amount, everybody?
Okay, so you're saying it's more. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Little, about 800,000 or whatever.
Yeah, let me figure out where that's from. I did need to add in like 867 of capital improvements prior to adding in Dunham, but I thought I had them in there, so.
Okay, well, if, yeah, I'll call you back when you, why don't you,
Okay,
yeah, give me,
text me John's number, or text me the number that's on the phone in there, and I can call you back when I'm home.
sounds good.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
No, this number has an extension on it, so that doesn't help me. I don't know what to do. Well, we'll just call her. So we'll move on. We'll come back to item number 7. Is everybody
7A.
okay with that?
Yeah, we
7A?
Yeah, we can go to.
Okay. Otherwise, I don't think there's no problem. It's just once the calculation is good. And that is for 2020. That is what needs to be to the county. The reason we have a special meeting, it needs to be to the county by January 11th. It's kind of a balancing our books, just telling me that's exactly where we ended up right here. Okay. Item B, Resolution 2021-1. That's for Rob Kalman, Street Commissioner. That's for his reappointment. I'd like to, council support, ask you to reappoint Rob. I think he's done a good job. I think he's doing a good job with the crew and everything. So I don't know if anybody has any questions regarding that. And we'll have it on, for next COW meeting too, and then hopefully pass it in the council meeting this month. Same thing with Natalie Buck, item C, 2021-2. Natalie, I think, is coming into her own. Been a little bit of a different year. So I'd like to reappoint Natalie. And then the only other one is item D, Resolution 2021-3, Chagrin Valley Engineering. And the only difference there is, and I would ask that we reappoint them. There's no increase in their contract. So their the charges for their services are the same as last contract. Okay, so no increase in the contract. The only difference is I did send you a letter. Joe asked me, and then I talked to Joe and Don. I asked Don to send a letter. Actually, they asked if we could make Joe in the legislation our engineer. Okay, and it's more just Chagrin Valley would still be our engineering. We still would have access to Don, but Joe would be in the legislation. He would be actually considered our engineer. I have no problem with that. Joe's been our engineer. He's been doing, really for the last, I'd say 3-4 years, he's been mainly our engineer. Don is a resource, but Joe has been going to all the sites, doing all the research, working very close with Rob, and discussions with Rob. Him and Joe work very well together. I know John, on the legal end, they work well together. So, you're right. So it's really, it's just more of a formality. And that's why in the piece of legislation it says Joe / thing. I just didn't want to put Joe's in there and wonder why. Don is still part of Chagrin Valley, but they are kind of changing over the guard a little bit. You know, they're all kind of like partners in that position, and they're kind of balancing the workload with the communities. So I'm in favor of it. I would ask council if they would support that, and then for the legislation, instead of it being Don Sheehy, it would be Joe Gelati in Chagrin Valley Engineering.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I would definitely support Joe Gelati. He's grown up in the village. His parents' backyard is to my parents' backyard, so I've known him forever, and I think that he is a good asset that does want the village's best interest.
Good.
Yeah,
Any
I
other-
agree, Mr. Mayor. I've been very pleased with Chagrin Valley, with Don Sheehy over the years, and I've been very pleased, very much so, with Joe Gelati. Very responsive to any questions or concerns, very knowledgeable, of course. I did ask the mayor in a prior conversation if we actually needed a name or just Chagrin Valley Engineering, and I think we need a name. Is that for our legislation, or for the municipality needs a person, I guess, as opposed to a company, I guess?
The way it's structured, I think there's a compensation piece too as well. Whoever's
Yeah.
designated the engineer gets an additional, well, not additional, but part of the package.
Right.
I think they're just transitioning from the younger to the older. You want to train, they're going to keep their eyes on him. They're going to all working for a while. They'll have young kids too, some of these guys, but they're looking to the future. And it's really just that he'll be the primary go-to. If they have a problem, we can always go to Don or whoever else we need to go to over there. They have various people in various departments that are experts in various areas. And I've worked with them 10 years in Maple Heights, and they do work pretty well. They do almost every community in the southeast side here pretty much. There's never been a problem. It's just must be the way they're structuring their business decision on their day.
Yeah, I'm very happy with Joe, so.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Council all in agreement? Go ahead,
I
Ray.
just had one comment. I think it's, yeah, we have to have a name, someone named, to your point. When I look at section 3 of this legislation, section 3, which is, I don't know, page 4, page 3, section 3, where, and, there's a compensation piece that relates to
Right.
OPERS.
Yes.
And so, I mean, we can't, OPER is a
Company.
company. So, and this is kind of a interesting way this works, that we do contract, but still that individual that's contracted as the engineer is entitled, or we have been paying the OPERS fee, so it has to be.
Have to have an individual name.
Has to be an individual,
Correct.
as a village engineer.
So we'll change that. Where it says Don, it will be Joe. John, we'll take care of that.
So it's subject to change every year as well, right there.
Yeah, it's a 1-year contract. And what I said, there is no increase in the contract, in the fees. So that's a very important piece of that. And is everybody else good with the other two, with Mr. Kalman and Natalie and Rob? Okay, good. So I will have them on. We'll have them on for the next COW meeting, just to have them on there. If there's any questions that come up, we can bring them up at that time too. I know there was talk about, both of those, the recreation and the street, if they could be an extended thing, but it's in the ordinance that they have to be renewed every year, so. Okay. Any other business? I have, just to make a couple comments, we know we got some business to move on when Angela comes back, is we want to get the collective bargaining agreement finalized. I know, Mr. Whedon, that's a big part of your committee, and we want to get that taken care of here in January, and also start, that's going to be part of our budget too, and we'll go through that. So we got a busy month and have a busy year, but I think we're going to do. Angela did put a lot of the numbers together before she left, just hasn't had a chance to share them with us yet, but she did get some numbers back from the insurance company and some other numbers and stuff relating to the contract to help us with that. So just to kind of let you know where that's at. And we did share with the police that we're not dragging our feet, and that we want to get it done, but we want to do a good job at it. So okay. Any other business from anybody? Okay. Sarah, any questions from any residents?
Fred Nielsen said I worked with Joe when I was on the council, and he did a great job for the village. And Lee Nielsen said that given we have cases of COVID in the village, I appreciate the council members who are wearing masks. Thank you.
I didn't
hear.
I didn't hear everything.
What about?
Lee Nielsen appreciates the council members that are wearing their masks due to the cases that are in the village.
Okay.
So they appreciate that, taking the precautions.
Okay. Okay, can I ask for an adjournment?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for adjournment of this committee of the whole meeting.
Second.
Second by Denny Linville. Vote on the motion, Mary Brenner Miller.
Yes.
Brian Spitznagel.
Yes?
Denny Linville.
Yes.
Jennifer Allen.
Yes.
Gloria Tilowski.
Yes.
Ray Whedon.
Yes.
Okay. Motion passed, 6 yeses. Meeting adjourned at 7:49 p.m. Okay. Does anybody want to go to the restroom or anything before, or are you ready to go right into the COW meeting? I mean, special council meeting. Everybody ready? Okay. Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the special council meeting of Tuesday, January 5th, 2021 at 7:49 p.m. This meeting is being live streamed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We are following House Bill 404 that allows public bodies to meet electronically through July 2021. Second order of business, roll call. Mary Brenner Miller,
Here.
Brian Spitznagel,
Here?
Denny Linville,
Present.
Jennifer Allen,
Here.
Gloria Tilowski,
Here.
Ray Whedon.
Here.
Okay, all of council present, along with our law solicitor, John Montello. Can I get a motion for approval of the special council meeting minutes?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for approval of the special council meeting minutes of December 8th, 2020.
Second.
Second by Denny Linville. Vote on the motion. Mary Brenner Miller,
Yes.
Brian Spitznagel,
Yes?
Denny Linville,
Yes.
Jennifer Allen,
Yes.
Gloria Tilowski,
Yes.
Ray Whedon.
Yes.
Okay, 6 yeses. Minutes passed. Okay, so we have the legislation here. Ordinance 2021-1, the final appropriations for 2020. Just so everybody knows, that second one, why that was sent out, is the first page was okay in the left-hand corner. It said ordinance 2021-1, but the second page had 2019-20. That was corrected. And also on the third page, it had 2019-20. They were just more typo errors. And then it also had introduced by councilpersons Mary Brenner Miller. So that second set that Mary sent, those were the typos that were fixed, if you were wondering which ones. Mary did the legislation with Angela being out of town, so there was little problems, but she got it, got it worked out and got it straight. So she removed Mary Brenner from the top, because that was from the last thing, and then fixed that, so that's why you got that. I know we did just have discussion with Angela that the amount should be for total of permanent appropriations, instead of the $10,341,137, it should be $11,129,460. We'll give her a call right now to confirm that.
Say that number again, Mayor?
$11,129,460.
Thank you.
Okay. John, would we need to make an amendment for that? Would one of the council members have to make an amendment to that?
Sure, that'd be the best approach, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's call Jennifer, because we just have that one piece of legislation. Reason we had the special meeting, because this needs to be into the county by January 11th. And the reason we didn't have it earlier, Angela's waiting for some of the final appropriations to do with the Dunham Road that fell into 2020. So, okay, let me give her I feel pretty comfortable with you.
4022.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
This number here, in this ordinance, this is money that's already spent, just to clarify that.
Correct.
These are monies that's already been appropriated. We're just telling the county that these are the numbers we've spent. So the difference here between the 10 and the 11 is just a clerical error on here. It makes no difference as far as moving forward what our projections are, just for the residents out there. If we can't get a hold of Angela, I'm happy with it. In its form, we can make that amendment as far as I'm concerned, and I will vote for it. Because we've seen the Report 52s and that along the year and everything like that.
Yeah, right.
So it's not anything that's, we know the general gist of our budget. The revenues.
It is what it is here.
Yes.
I mean, that's what it is.
It's what it's spent, yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Mr. Mayor?
Exactly.
I agree with Brian. I can vote on it if we can't get a hold of Angela.
well, why don't we do this? Let's see how council feels about this. I have executive session on there. I feel it's going to be short. Okay, we can go in executive session, come out. The residents want to wait to see us vote on what we'll be voting on. Residents is just this appropriation for 2020. and I don't think there's a problem with that. I think
Sure.
council feel comfortable with that.
Yes.
And then we can, we'll buy a little more time, give Angela a call, she's probably on her way, and she can pull up her computer. Okay, can I get a motion to enter into executive discussion to discuss pending litigation?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss pending litigation.
Second.
Second by Mary Brenner Miller. Vote on the motion. Mary Brenner Miller,
Yes.
Brian Spitznagel.
Yes.
Denny Linville,
Yes?
Jennifer Allen,
Yes.
Gloria Tulowski,
Yes.
and Ray Whedon.
Yes.
Okay. Motion passed to go in executive session at 7:56 PM. Residents, we will, I think it's going to be a short executive session. When we come out, we will vote on the legislation, ordinance 2021-1, final appropriations for 2020. Do we need an amendment to move that, to not vote on that right now, John, or to move anything, or no?
No, I don't see a problem.
Okay, good.
Do you want me to go tell the dispatch?
Yes. Sarah, whenever we're off, let us... Yes, shut the door, John.
Okay.
Are we ready, Sarah? Okay.
There was a change.
I'd like to make a motion, I'd like to ask for a motion to reconvene from executive session.
Mr.
I'd
Ma-
like to make a motion that we reconvene from executive session at this time.
At 8:29 PM. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jennifer. Vote on the motion. Mary Brenner Miller,
Yes.
Brian Spitznagel,
Yes.
Denny Linville,
Yes.
Jennifer Allen,
Yes.
Gloria Terlowski,
Yes.
Ray Whedon.
Yes.
Okay, we are reconvened from executive session at 8:29 PM. Let's give Angela a call here now, and we'll get back to the legislation, ordinance 2021-1, final appropriations for 2020. This worked out better, what to do. Hey, Angela. Are you there?
How are you? I'm here.
Can everybody hear? Okay, well, we are reconvened.
Okay.
We're looking at ordinance 2021-1 with the correction You want to kind of go through it for us, or?
Yeah, I'm going to go through this with you. So I'm looking at what you guys passed with Katie for regular appropriations at the end of 19 for 2020. Nothing changed in that first section at all.
Okay.
So, right.
When you say first section, you mean the 5 million, the general fund?
Use the 5 million, exactly, the general fund.
Okay.
Okay, so nothing changed there. I'm just toggling back and forth here because I don't think anything else changed either with the first.
No, it's only capital
Actually, I shouldn't
improvement.
say that. I did lower that a little bit, and let me tell you what I lowered. 5131,257. So I was able to lower something in there, and I'm going to tell you what it was. I'm thinking. I'm looking at your mayor's court. So nothing changed with mayor's office personnel. Oh, what did I lower? Oh, I lowered actually the police stuff. So in the current that you're looking at, the security of persons and property was actually lowered. It should say, here, hold on. No, I did increase it. I'm sorry, I did. She had it at 1627762. I put it at 1725. And that's based on us having a little bit more in dispatch part-time and some more, obviously, in regular police part-time. Regular police wages for full-time are on par with what she had budgeted.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So we're good there. And then,
So now we on the second page?
so that's the increase there. And then I'm just double checking because you mentioned to me that you thought something to change with mayor's court. So I'm just looking at what I did. Sorry. Part of this I did before I left. So this first page I'm trying to regroup here with what I did before I left. 108.
No, we're okay with all that. Brian was looking at something different.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. And so mayor's court personnel actually went down a little bit.
Okay.
No, that went up a little bit too, but okay, so you're okay on the first page. That went up just slightly by like $50,000, $52,000. Okay, so page 2.
She was going over the questions, Brian, that you asked her about the increases.
Okay, so SCMR, I actually lowered for road department there. And that was just based on our figures. We hadn't had a ton of overtime yet. And so she had budgeted a little bit higher on the road department other line. So I was able to take that down about $40,000. Okay, street highways the same. Your law enforcement trust I did put up a little bit. And that's just based on where we stood with figures at the end of November. Police pensions went up, obviously, based on the fact that we were paying more in wages. Water meter repair is what it is, so that went up a little bit just because that's the exact amount we paid for water meter repairs for the year. Mayor's Court computer, we keep that in there just in case she needs it. She did receive a computer, I think, end of last year. That service stayed the same. Veterans Memorial stayed the same. And so since what you were looking at and what I did now, I must have missed a number when I added, but I wanted to update this number again. What makes up your capital improvement number right now, that $3,421,139, Katie had us budgeted for $265,000 originally. At the end of November, we were already at $876 and change. And that's part of that is because I was starting to go ahead and do the correct method of recording expenses and revenues, once I had talked to the auditors in the spring. But I had to go undo the rest of that. And then I needed to encumber for Dunham. So I encumbered at the amount that we had awarded to Fabrizi's. It could be less than that down the road, but I wanted to just put that amount in just in case.
Okay.
And so that's what makes that total up. That Fabrizi was like $2,545,000. So that's all what's in that number, and then the JED number stayed the same. So that should add up now to $11,917,083. Nothing changes down below with those transfers.
Okay, so we see what you did, from what we had earlier, you increased that capital improvement.
Yes, I went in and made sure I added the correct number for that $876,000 in addition to what I had in there to Dunham.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a scary number this year because we have to put Dunham on there because we already received money in 2020 for it. So even when you see the 52, you're going to see that encumbered. And then I just have to determine, do I need to go ahead and even it out with moving money where we have it sitting from when it came in from the note. But when I do the 52. But so this is what goes to the county though. They see the expense side of everything to know what we had spent. So this is shoring up everything for 2020. This is nothing for 2021, even though we know Dunham was going to start in 2021, our note payment in 2020, so we have to encumber it for the end of the year.
Gotcha. Okay, so, John, what do we need to do? Just need to amend the legislation, or what do we need to do?
I would say make a motion to amend the legislation to reflect change in the capital improvement line item from $2,633,516 to $3,420,139,000, which affects the total permanent appropriations from $10,341,137,000 to $1,917,083.
I gotcha.
I have a question.
Did
I
you-
don't know,
Go ahead.
why would we have to do that? Because we have a complete package now of this ordinance.
Well, you could also say amended pursuant to the revised ordinance number 2021. You know, however you want, some sort of. motion.
Yeah, what was presented to everybody else, I would imagine, when we posted everything is going to be different, so.
That's the only thing. Brian,
Oh, it's posted?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
posted than what's out in the,
Yeah,
okay.
and the list, at least this way, the amendment would reflect. the
Yeah,
change.
yeah, okay, makes a lot of good sense.
Do we need to go over this?
Do you have any more questions?
Well, why don't you hang on, Angela? Are you good?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going anywhere. I'm
Who's
good.
going to make the amendment?
I will, okay.
Okay, do you know exactly what to amend that? Mary, do you need us to go
Yeah.
through that?
I wrote it down.
Okay,
To increase the capital improvement fund from $2,600,000 to $3,421,000, and also increase the total permanent appropriation. You got it, right? You know, right?
It's like an endorsement.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
anybody have any other questions related to that? Are you guys good with the amendment?
Mhm.
Okay,
This page 2 a reissue, right, in amended form?
yes. But Mary's going to read it, though, read the amendment, like what's changed in it. You know, she'll read it in the record, the amendment. You know what I mean? Saying to reflect what you have in your hand. She's going to read it. So what we would do is Mary introduces the legislation,
And then I.
second, and then we introduce legislation and then make an amendment right after, okay. All right, is everybody good?
We have to suspend the rules to it.
Yes, and we'll ask for suspension on it. Okay, let's get back, everybody's good, we'll get back to the legislation. Can I get who would like, Mary, would you like to introduce legislation, ordinance 2020-1, final appropriations 2020?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to introduce ordinance 2021-1, final appropriations for 2020 and for suspension.
Okay, do you need to, you want to read what it's,
Yes, ordinance 2021, final appropriations 2020.
an ordinance to make, it's right there. Go, you know, yeah, you know, right, read what 2021 is.
You're.
Yeah.
Ordinance, an ordinance to make permanent appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Walton Hills, State of Ohio, during the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2020, and ending December 31st, 2020, and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Second by Brian Spitznagel. Do we vote on this or do the
Then I
amendment?
make the amendment.
Yeah, we'll do the,
Before we vote on it?
yes.
Okay. Or do we vote on, we just introduced it, Brian seconded it, do we vote on that? Okay,
All right, shall we-
make an amendment.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make an amendment to ordinance 2021-1. The amendment, the amended legislation by line item for capital improvements is changing from, let me get the numbers out. Changing from $2,633,516 to $3,421,139. And the final total permanent appropriations is now changed to $917,083.
Okay, is there a second for the amendment?
Second.
Okay. Vote on the ordinance with the amendment. Correct? Have them vote on it now?
For suspension.
Vote on, we're going to vote on the amendment. We had a first, Brian seconded it. Mary Brenner Miller for the
Yes.
amendment.
Yes.
Brian Spitznagel.
Yes.
Denny Linville.
Yes.
Jennifer Allen.
Yes.
Gloria Chalowski.
Yes.
Ray Whedon.
Yes.
Okay, now vote on the ordinance with the amendment, correct?
The suspension.
Suspension.
For suspension.
For suspension. I did say that.
As amended, okay, so we're going to vote on ordinance number 2020. Should you introduce it again with the amendment? Sure. Or why don't we, yeah, just go ahead, introduce it with the amendment.
Okay. Ordinance 2021-1, an ordinance to make permanent appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Walton Hills, State of Ohio during the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2020, and ending December 31st, 2020, and declaring an emergency.
For suspension with the amendment.
Suspension with the amendment.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ray Whedon. Vote on the ordinance with the amendment. Mary Brenner Miller.
Yes.
Brian Spitznagel.
Yes.
Denny Linville.
Yes.
Jennifer Allen.
Yes.
Gloria Chalowski.
Yes.
Ray Whedon.
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance 2021-1 with the amendment passed. 6 yeses. Very good.
Adoption.
That was technically,
The suspension. Don't we need the adoption?
Oh, yeah, go, yeah,
That
we
was
voted
the
for the
suspension.
suspension, yes. Vote on the approval of
I'd
it.
like to ask for adoption of 2021 with the amendment.
Second.
Vote on that. Vote on the adoption. Mary Brenner Miller,
Yes.
Brian Spitznagel.
yes.
Denny Linville.
Yes.
Jennifer Allen.
Yes.
Gloria Chalowski.
Yes.
Ray Whedon.
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance passed with the amendment. Thank you, everybody. We got through that.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. Yeah, we,
But it was kind of coming up here. That's why I should probably.
that's okay. We're good. Okay. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for adjournment of the special council meeting.
Second.
Second. Vote on, what's that? Yeah, is there any comments before we adjourn?
No comments.
Okay. Vote on the motion for adjournment. Mary Brenner Miller,
Yes.
Brian Spitznagel,
Yes.
Denny Linville,
Yes.
Jennifer Allen,
Yes.
Gloria Chalowski,
Yes.
Ray Whedon.
Yes.
Okay. Special council meeting adjourned at 8:44 PM. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you bring any sun home with you?